Hello everyone, Dr. Eames here. Now this time I would like to talk about the 5 factors of production. Now a factor of production basically is just a resource that you use to create wealth. And so generally you'll find this in all the textbooks, Introduction to Business, so forth. These are the basic things that we need if we are going to create wealth, do business, and be successful in any kind of organizational sort of endeavor. The first of the 5 factors is land. And really when we're talking about land, we're in particular talking about the natural resources that land possesses. So some countries are blessed with lots of natural resources. It allows them a way to make money, to create business and jobs, to build an economy, and many things. The United States, for instance, has got an abundance of resources of many types, and it has allowed the country over time to really rise in economic importance and so forth. And just think about it. We have mineral resources, we have oil and petroleum, natural gas resources, and coal, which hopefully we're getting away from completely. Lumber, we have water, we have arable soil that we can grow crops on, and so forth. We have all sorts of resources, and then there are other sorts of natural resources like natural beauty, which brings tourism revenue and things like that. So land or natural resources. Now compare that to a country like Japan. Japan is one of the top economies in the world, and yet they're not like the United States. They don't have any natural resources other than they've got some real natural beauty going for themselves. So they do get some tourism revenue, but they don't have any mineral resources. They don't have much arable, tillable land whatsoever. They don't have any reserves of precious gems or oil and petroleum or natural gas. So there is a big difference. How did Japan get to be such a prominent economy with that major factor lacking? Well, through hard work, good organization, good management. That's really it. Now the second of the 5 factors is labor. Do you have workers? And what are the workers really expecting? Are they technical, or are you just needing common labor? Whatever it is, but are they available? Or do you have to find your workers somewhere else for whatever reason? Lack of skills, lack of education, lack of numbers, whatever it might be. So certainly land and labor would have to be the top 2 factors of production. And then it brings us to capital. Now capital is simply, do you have the money to engage in business, to create some further wealth, to take what you've got and turn it into something more? So capital can be represented by land you've invested in and machines you've purchased and all that sort of thing. But generally, you do need a certain amount of capital to make other capital grow, to do business. It does take some kind of money to do that. And that's generally what we find is necessary to even start the smallest entrepreneurial ventures, is you need some capital. And then of course you'll need it to sustain you along the way. So that does bring us to the 4th factor of production, entrepreneurship. At some point, if there's a business, someone had an idea that they pursued, and that they started that business and they managed it and they got it going and they nurtured it for whatever amount of time, and they either may stay with the business or sell it or remove themselves from the business in some way. But businesses often go on beyond the founders and so forth. So entrepreneurship is a necessary element of production, one of the 5 factors, simply because it does take someone who is willing to risk their time, energy, and money, their capital, to have a business venture take off and be successful. The 5th factor of production is knowledge. Sometimes people manage to pull off going into business and do okay, and they don't seem to know much about business. It happens all the time. Sometimes you might have just a natural intuition for it, though. In America, think about it, we're all born consumers. We know how a lot of things work, and we may not know all the terms, and we may not know all the right economic forces and how to describe them, but we certainly do have the knowledge about what it takes for business in a general sort of way. Well, it goes beyond that. As one of the five factors, that knowledge has to be specific knowledge that you gain over time or already possess that gets you started. So if you're going to start a wealth creating sort of venture, a business of some type, you do need a certain amount of knowledge. Now, this is what really separates out countries and economies. These five factors. If you've got almost all of the factors or all of them going in your favor, you have a real good chance to lead the world in many different industries and areas. And then look at what the United States has got. We do have land and resources. We do have plenty of laborers. We have the money to do things when we want to. We certainly have the entrepreneurial spirit, and we can find the knowledge when we don't have it. That's the type of culture we are. Okay, folks, that's all I want to talk about this time. I'll talk to you again soon.